Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're back on the 110, getting ready to fit the doors. So it's a really nice day, so we're going to spend a bit of time rubbing down the paintwork on the outside of the 110. I'm going to remove whatever's left, such as the wingtop checker plate, a few lights and things, so it's all down to the bare bones of it. And then I'm actually going to start fitting our hinges ready for the doors to go on. I think the doors are going to be here with us next week. So we're going to be fitting original style hinges to our build. We have primed them already. I've just given them a quick paint on the reverse using that can of limestone white that I had lying around, just so I've got the back of the hinge where it rotates painted. And then we're going to put the hinges on and the strikers ready to receive the doors. Now that doesn't feel very comfortable in there. Why is that? Nope, that doesn't feel comfortable at all. Right, that was interesting. Okay, so I made a mistake, which is something I do want to talk about because it's a very easy mistake to make. So I went on the LR Parts website and I typed in that I wanted a stainless steel hinge bolt kit for Defender, and it came up with this one here, which is a DA1133. Now you wouldn't necessarily make the same mistake because we have a system here where we can look at where the picking areas are, but it is something that's worth mentioning. So these, the ones I picked, are actually DA1133P, which means they're for Puma, which is why they didn't contain the speed clips, because you don't get the speed clips in the kit. So these are for Puma. They're no good, which is a shame because I actually prefer the heads on those because they put like a domed head like the originals. But we have to go for a flat head on ours. But it does come with all the speed clips. The second thing that's worth mentioning is these speed clips that I picked, and I'll put the part number on the screen now. These are for series only because, again, they're UNF or Imperial threads, which is why I couldn't get it to go in. So there's quite a few lessons to be learnt there. One of the key ones, I think, is doing things by hand first, rather than trying to buzz everything straight in, because I would have completely mashed that up and made my job a lot harder. So, just so you know, what you need to get is a DA1133, just plain and simple, and it comes with the speed clips, so that makes our job a lot easier. So now we've covered that, let's get cracking. So we're going to have to do things again, which is okay. You'd think that fitting hinges is an easy job. Well, it is, but you just got to make sure you toot the right hinges in the right place. So our two top front door hinges have got these additional holes in here, and they're for our mirrors. And what you want to be doing is, wherever you fit a hinge, make sure that the fat piece, so the fatter part of the hinge, is at the bottom. So this is definitely the right one to go on here, and we're just going to offer it up. Now notice we're not actually going to be putting any plastic spacer washer on here. I try and avoid that if I can, even when we go to the final fix. I only really tend to use the plastic washers on the doors themselves. And these are the clips we're going to use. Now they're a little bit more sprung loaded, if you like, so they're quite difficult to get in, but if you use the same technique, we can open it up slightly. I would recommend doing that because I can see we've got a skin repair on here. Now, get your magnet on there so we don't drop it. Try and offer it up. Now it is open at the end. Can you just see here? We've got sort of like a piece that comes out there and out there, so it's easier to get in. So once it's in, then you want to get your screwdriver underneath. And just, if you want to, you can just rotate your screwdriver a little bit to get it started, and then you can give it a tap. Once it's in, give it a tap, and there we go. With a magnet, it's so much easier. As long as it stays on there. There we go. So we've got the right hinge, because we've got the fat piece at the bottom, two of the shorter bolts, and then we're just going to try and thread these in by hand. I've just put some of that rust converter on there because it was looking a bit scabby. Just lever it over. Get your screwdriver in there. Twist like that. And then just tap it into place. So our bottom hinge doesn't have the holes in for the mirror, but we do have the fat piece at the bottom. So just get these started. There we go, second hinge. So we've got our captive plates here now. I haven't painted these, I've just put some rust converter on them because I don't want them to look too shiny and new. Basically we're going to have to hold this in place when we're ready, so we're going to pass the bolts through first. I'm hoping you can see the back of this. So you pass it through like so, pretty simple. And at the back here we just want to offer up our plate onto there and we're all done. So we'll get that buttoned up now. Now I'm not sure, I mean I like the plate, I just think a nut and bolt might look nicer. Right, so we got that one in. Bottom one is exactly the same, but we have to just fish around a little bit to get the backing plate in. So these ones are even longer, so the lower second row doors are really long. The upper second row doors are the second longest, which is this one, so you can see the difference there, I hope. So we've got to pass these through the hinge and right into the back. Okay, then we take our hinge, you have to go into the cavity. I can feel the bolts at the back, so it's not super hard. There we go, we're in. So it's just a case of fiddling around and feeling for when it's going to catch. There's a lot of thread, by the way. Really good. Perfect. So that's how you do your hinges. So we've got all the hinges in as they should be, but what I'm going to do now is actually take this plate off the back of this because I want to put some nice penny washers and some stainless nuts on the back of that, and it's probably where we're going to be mounting our bar to support the rear seats. So we're going to get rid of that plate now and just swap things around a little bit. So I'm not saying this is the way you should do it, this is just the way I'm doing it. I've lost the other captive plates as well, so this makes sense for me. Yeah, we're in. So yeah, I think that actually looks quite nice. So now I'm going to whiz around and try and get these wheel arches off. Now in the past you can see that someone's riveted them in place in some places, but generally you should just be able to poke out these little expanding clips. Get yourself a pick tool and just knock the plastic pin through all the way. You can see we just poked them through. So they've got a little plastic pin in the middle and we just poke it through. In theory we should be able to get this off. Look at that, we've got one clip still there. There we are, that was the one that didn't want to come off. And there's one wing. So that's our little plastic clip, and you can see it's got a hole in the middle. So when you buy these from new, you actually have them assembled like that. You push it into place, you push that plastic plug in, and it expands inside the wing and holds the wheel arch on. So this corner's already been bolted on our vehicle, front and rear, because generally there's a bolt that goes through here onto the side sills, and also at the back you've got one that goes into the wing, and I've removed all those already. So you've got 2 bolts to think about on both the front and your rear wheel arches, and then it's just getting those plastic pop rivets out. Right, I reckon that's it. Did we miss one? Nope. There we go. this a little go. We're going to try and loosen our windscreen. What have we got here? It's an 18, I think. There's one. So this is a very unique design. You only get these hinges on very early 110s and 90s, but obviously you can retrofit them. All right, now that should be free. Is it going to clear the front? That's what I'm wondering. But what we're going to try and do is just prise the windscreen forwards and see what it clears. If it clears the wiper spindles, that'd be great. Oh, it does, easily. Look at that. Wow. That's brilliant. Let's get something to protect the bonnet. Well folks, that has been quite a day getting everything stripped back on the 110, sort of in a preparation really for bodywork more than paint, because we need to go around it and see what needs removing, what needs repairing, filling, and we've exposed a little bit more rot, as you might imagine, on this bulkhead just under here, so we'll get some treatment on that, and that'll be something we'll look at later on. But it's all good just to get everything exposed, because we don't want any sort of like things coming up and biting us in the ass afterwards when we've sort of gone to a lot of trouble of getting it painted and everything. So really pleased with what we've done. We've stripped everything back, we've got our hinges on, we're ready now for the doors. Quite surprised how cool that looks. I'm just going to have a little think, because I'm pretty sure that that will fold down with the wipers in place if you just drop them off the screen. So we're going to have to fashion some sort of bumpers, I think, on the bonnet, and possibly maybe some leather straps, like a leather belt strap or something, just to hold it down. You tell me what you think would look good. Maybe you hate that, but I'm really into it. So yeah, thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Do give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you on the next one.